The truth behind the Large Hadron Collider.
Let's first talk about CERN and the Large Hadron Collider. People have heard about that, or most people have. They've seen pictures of it and all kinds of speculation and theories. Give us a quick definition, first, just from a purely scientific point of view, what the purpose, what the collider is, what its purpose is.
Okay. Well, the scientific purpose is to take particles and accelerate them towards reaching the threshold with the speed of light, and to then collide them, fracturing them into smaller particles for the purpose of trying to determine the basis for creation, trying to find the building blocks of the universe and all known life. And that's what science will tell you in the public arena. But where my research has led me is into the hidden agenda at CERN. And that's really been my calling from the Lord, is to really reveal the truth behind the public agendas at CERN, which is a nuclear research facility utilizing a particle collider. Yeah, as you travel along it, you cover 27 miles, 17 kilometers. Well, geographically on the map, it's located on the border between Switzerland and France. It's near Geneva. It's a sovereign state unto itself.
What's a sovereign state unto itself?
That would be a self-governing body. They are much like the Vatican.
So the collider, I never heard this before. The collider is in its own state, like the Vatican?
And similar to Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia.
So it's based on, I guess, their theory or research or whatever, that if they crack open atomic, subatomic particles, just crack them open, they are saying, at least publicly, that they can find the secrets to the origins of the universe, etc.
It's interesting because today it is no longer hidden. They are not hiding their goals. In fact, they're in a pronounced fashion announcing it. Last year, the previous director of the Collider facility announced that their goal, openly, is to open a dimensional gateway to another dimension. You might call it a portal. And when you begin to put that in the context of our everyday reality, that seems absurd. And he also made the statement that we don't know what we will find or what may come through from the other side, but we're willing to risk it.
People being programmed, and we know that the result of this is already measurable. I was doing research the other day, and the fastest growing religion in America is Wicca, which, as you know, is paganism and witchcraft, and number two is Islam. So now, this collider and these beings that they're in communication with. So we're talking about the premier scientists on planet Earth right now, who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality, in their own words, from another dimension, and that's the purpose of the collider. I mean, people need to understand this is not science fiction. This is fact.
That's correct. What I write about in my novels, I place a storyline that is embedded with science fact. Everything that I present publicly in the books, public speaking, is all drawn from their own scientific journals and white papers. And then I'm able to see what they're doing. Not just extrapolate, but see in the real time what it is they're doing. Not a future agenda, but what they're doing right now today. The imminency of what they intend to do, which is opening this gateway. And understand that the world of science in terms of particle physics also overlaps into DNA, into biology.
Yes.
There's a multifaceted, multi-level agenda at play. Hubris of Satan, of Lucifer, he believes that he actually has the ability to kill God's angels and kill God. He believes he can create a new heaven on earth, that he can create a new race of beings. He hates everything that God has created, including us. And he is the mirror image of everything that God has created, that is all that is good. And so if you 180 that, if you flip that over, if you make it a mirror, think of everything that is good in the world that God has created, go to the opposite side, and that's what Satan's goal is, to present his form of life and his form of heaven here on earth using technology. Now I need to make it clear that I don't hold any ill will against the scientists, the researchers, engineers. They are deceived into believing one of the original lies, that ye shall be as gods, that you will have immortality. That's the carrot. That's evidence that you could take to someone who perhaps hasn't been saved and use that as leverage, as inducement, as a way to get them to begin to think critically for themselves. Something that a lot of us have lost because of environmental, because of culture, because of education system, the indoctrination process, as we've talked about, have lost that critical analytical process.
Yeah, right.
That critical thinking skill. It's a skill set.
Right.
But if you can take the evidence and encourage someone to use their rudimentary abilities to think critically and examine the evidence and perhaps pursue that evidence, which is the purpose of my books, then they can come to a realization themselves that the evidence speaks for itself. Not only the physics that's going on, but the agenda that's driving the physics, because I often say you cannot separate the physical from the spiritual.
Right.
So to say that science operates in a vacuum is full of hot air.
Yeah, right.
It's nonsense.
Right.
So science is definitely, it's alchemy.
Yes.
Of
alchemy.
old today.
Right. Sorcery.
It is sorcery,
Right.
and it is spiritual, but they're integrated together.